On December 4th, 1872, a British-American ship called the Mary Celeste was found empty and drifting in the Atlantic. It was found to be seaworthy and with its cargo intact, except for a lifeboat, which it appeared had been boarded in an orderly fashion. No one knows what happened to the crew or why they left the ship. There are a few theories surrounding this story, including one exploring the idea that the crew discovered a leak of fumes from alcoholic spirits being stored in the hold, which the crew feared would explode. So they all got into a lifeboat, hoping to distance themselves from the ship. But we'll never know for sure if that's what happened. Stick around for this episode to hear more strange unsolved mysteries. Welcome back to AskReddit Mondays on Redditainment. Today's post comes to us from this user and it reads, "What is the strangest unsolved mystery?" Let's jump right into the comments. The first comment says, "The murders of billionaires Barry and Honey Sherman found dead in their mansion in Toronto by their realtor. They were found with their necks tied, fully clothed on their pool deck with no signs of a break-in. Well-known philanthropists, Barry was in the pharmaceutical industry and they donated millions annually to multiple charities. The police originally believed it was a murder-suicide and didn't pursue other leads. The family launched a private investigation that found the evidence didn't support that theory and thus proved the police incompetence. As the public became more interested, it was discovered there was a whole family dispute over inherited shares of the Apotex company. The Shermans' nieces and nephews had launched lawsuit over their right to inherit shares, which they lost and most accepted. The Shermans' children hired private investigators because of the inept Toronto police. It uncovered an unknown man leaving the property around the time of the murders. The case is fascinating and is the subject of multiple podcasts, a book, and movie. I believe this is still a very recent event that I've definitely seen on the news before. And given the fact that these folks were so high up in the world, I'm sure there will be many theories on who did it or why. Just the company that Barry Sherman founded, Apotex, brings in about $3 billion in sales according to Wikipedia and has about 8,000 employees. I'm sure there are many theories around this unfortunate mystery if you simply search for Barry and Honey Sherman online. The next comment says, "The guy who killed a Japanese family stayed hours inside the house with the corpses using their computer and eating their food. He even took a shit and didn't flush the toilet. He left so much DNA in the house and the police haven't found him." Wow, that's a crazy story. For those of you who want to look further into this one, apparently this references what's called the Setagaya family murders that happened in 2000 in Japan. Another Redditor shares the following. "To me, the disappearance of an extra from Scarface, Tammy Lynn Leppert, went missing after a few days of shooting a scene for the film. I think she was the girl Manny flirts with before he shoots up the motel to save Tony, but apparently she was behaving really erratically at home. She left her mother's house on the morning of July 6, 1983, likely to keep shooting, and was never seen again. She was 18 when she disappeared." Another comment follows up on this story and says, "Tammy Lynn Leppert was a Florida beauty queen and model who, near the time of shooting the movie, went to a party and didn't come back the same person. It's like she changed overnight. While shooting, she saw a blood packet get activated during filming and freaked out. She was released from the film and began showing major signs of paranoia. She claimed she saw something she shouldn't have, but wouldn't say what, fearing some unknown person would kill her. She became almost a total shut-in and was suddenly argumentative / quick to anger. Then one day, when she went for a drive with a friend and never came home, the friend says they got into an argument and she got out of the car multiple miles from her home, barefoot, and refused to get back in. Nobody has seen her since." Somebody else comments that this sounds like the onset of schizophrenia, but who knows what this girl had seen and what caused her to behave in such a way. Here's another one. "I always thought the mysterious green children from Woolpit was interesting. The legend of the green children of Woolpit concerns two children of unusual skin color who reportedly appeared in the village of Woolpit in Suffolk, England, sometime in the 12th century. perhaps during the reign of King Stephen. The children, brother and sister, were of generally normal appearance except for the green color of their skin. They spoke in an unknown language and would eat only raw broad beans. Eventually, they learned to eat other food and lost their green color. But the boy was sickly and died soon after his sister was baptized. The girl adjusted to her new life, but she was considered to be rather loose and wanton in her conduct. As she learned to speak English, the girl explained that she and her brother had come from a land where the sun never shone. According to one version of the story, she said that everything there was green. According to another, she said it was called St. Martin's Land. I am assuming the kid suffered from some sort of nutritional deficiency, but the story is interesting either way. I have certainly heard this story before with many wild theories on where they came from and why they were green, but given how old this legend is, I'm sure many parts have been changed or at the very least exaggerated over time. I'm sure in reality there is a very logical explanation as to what actually happened. Alright, let's do one more for today's episode. This person says, that guy who ran away from the airport hopped the fence and was never seen again. Scrolling through some of the comments, it turns out that the guy's name was Lars Mittank. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that name, but according to some online research, he is a German man who disappeared on July 8th, 2014 near Varna Airport in Varna, Bulgaria. He was reportedly on vacation when he got involved in a fight and was subsequently unable to fly home with his friends for health reasons. As seen in the video, he basically just hopped the fence and disappeared into the forest surrounding the airport. And there has been no signs of him since, despite millions of people having seen the footage of him, having seen his face. It is also reported that he had been seeing a physician after the fight he got into. Apparently he got into a fight at a bar where his eardrum was ruptured and his jaw was injured, so a local doctor prescribed him some antibiotics to prevent his wounds from becoming infected, and he was told to stay behind while his friends were heading home. He then apparently checked into a hotel while exhibiting strange and erratic behavior. He's caught on video hiding inside the elevator, leaving the building at midnight, and then return a couple hours later. He called his mom and whispered that people were trying to rob or kill him. And then he texted her asking about his medication and to block his credit cards. When he checked in with the physician later on regarding his injuries, he was told that he could fly, but he seemed very uneasy about that. He apparently looked nervous and asked the physician about the medication that he was given. He was also overheard saying, "I don't want to die here, I have to get out of here." Then he dropped his belongings on the floor, ran down the hall, and outside the airport he climbed over a fence and disappeared. I mean, just looking into the story a little bit, to me it sounds like whoever he fought at the bar was after him and was maybe looking for him, possibly trying to kill him. I mean, given the little information that's at hand, that's kind of what I'm thinking happened. But if you'd like to look into this more, there are some great videos on YouTube specifically about this case. Type in the name and you'll see it pop up. But if you'd like to read more comments on this thread on Reddit, the link is in the description down below. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.